Hello and welcome to the Weaver Virtual Studio. My name is Nomad and we're going to be getting into game number 2 in the grand finals of the ESL 1 Germany tournament between NAVI and Team Liquid as they battle it out. And of course, joining me in the studio to spread his marmite of wisdom across this game number 2 is Gareth over on the analyst desk. And of course, when we're talking about game number 2, we can only talk about one man, and that man's name is Mickey. In this game number 2, he dominated on this then, an 85% performance index showing that he was way ahead of the average for this hero. And of course, that impressive 790 GPM, putting him way above average and leaving him in a dominating position. But Gareth, I want to ask you, how did they enable this on Team Liquid?
It was pretty greedy by Liquid overall, starting out with the Enigma actually in the hands of Tiger down in that bottom lane, as he was up against the Drow Range and the Vengeful Spirit. Able to do very well, honestly. But I think the more interesting thing is the role swap, putting the Tusk into the hands of Boxy and shifting him up into a defensive tri-lane to really keep the Sven defended up there, and they also managed to shut down General really hard.
Yeah, I mean, General really was supposed to be the pointy end of the sword in this draft, but unfortunately, they did such a good job on Team Liquid in shutting him down. I mean, in this laning phase, he was bullied, he was murdered, and he was humiliated time and time again by Team Liquid, led by a Boxy with this aggressive movement. And here we see Insania making a run back into his own jungle.
Yeah, chasing him down, and it's Liquid that actually responds in force, bringing the Sven in from the lane, so missing a few CS, but definitely a signal of intent to shut down any aggressive moves that NAVI might have wanted to make into that jungle.
Yeah, I mean, they were really looking to pressure hard, but over on the other side of the map, something very interesting was going on. Enigma, being played by Tiger in the off lane, was having a fantastic game. He was using his Eidolons to block camps and generally be super annoying for poor old Vengeful Spirit, and at level 6, he made this magical play.
He did, denying that creep with the Demonic Conversion, getting level 6 to get the Black Hole and the Arcane Boots to pop. The Storm's rotation all timed in perfectly for that kill on the Drow Ranger, and Na'Vi even react with force, but they don't get too much off the back of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good for NAVI to lose your carry in that situation, but at the same time, how can you plan for that? Like, he was level 5 and he didn't have enough mana, but he pops the Arcane Boots, he pops the Demonic Conversion, the conditions are met, Storm TP enemy, it was just so perfect from Liquid and no chance to react. And of course, at this point in the game, we can have a look at the match summary at 10 minutes and see where things stand. And with a huge last hit advantage and with a 26% advantage over the enemy team, Team Liquid are dominating.
Yeah, and it really took a lot of weird moves from Na'Vi to try and get themselves back into the game. A lot of it focused on farming and getting item timings, where we saw the Phoenix actually sitting down in the bottom lane for an extended period, 4 or 5 minutes, not just to get levels up in his Supernova, but to try and get into a Glimmer Cape, which wasn't really the ideal item up against a Sven. We also had the Drow Ranger sitting in the jungle farming, but really up in the top lane, this Storm Spirit given free reign to shut down General and any pushes he wanted to try and make there, while also keeping his farm going. And then most importantly, I think, is that cluster in the middle. Sven guarded yet again by Tusk and Oracle, while he took down the 3 camps near the mid lane and his dire triangle.
Yeah, Sven's so greedy, he wants 2 triangles to farm this game. But there was a glimmer of hope on the side of Na'Vi, and that came in the form of Iceberg, playing the Tiny. He was having an okay game, 3-0-3 at this point into the game, and with a performance index just slightly above average, so he was generally doing all right. But this didn't last, unfortunately.
Yeah, a lot of the weight on his shoulders, of course, due to General's poor performance and the way that he was shut down by Liquid. So every time Iceberg saw a target, he felt required to go and jump on them with that blink initiation that he had up his sleeve. But Liquid were always ready and prepared to react to him. As we see, the Storm Spirit, a real prime target for Iceberg, but every jump he makes is counteracted by stuns. The Black Hole here, yes, there's a bit of backup from Na'Vi to help him, but in the end, it's a Sven rotation to reveal his Aghanims that shuts Iceberg down completely. And then a little bit later on, after a big Roshan team fight, Iceberg is yet again isolated on his Tiny, and it's a big old surround from Team Liquid as they completely shut down the Tiny's acceleration in this game.
Yeah, it's not a happy story for our poor Rocky boy, as he's now sitting with 4-3-4, just 5 minutes after that before, with a 43% performance index, so a significant drop for him. He was unable to carry his team. Without him, Na'Vi really were starting to struggle.
Yeah, and we come into the end of the game where it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Tiger on that Enigma. He's been farming tons. He had a great laning stage, and all these tanky aura items allow him basically just to walk into the middle of the team fight and get a massive black hole that closes out this game, and a resounding victory for Liquid.
My goodness, that is a mighty black hole, Gareth. And there is nothing which Navi can do from this point but call GG. And that's how Game 2 was broken down by Team Liquid, leading to a 2-0 victory. For Navi to come back into this, they'll need something big, but they may just have it. And don't forget, guys, if you're interested in anything you've seen here in the studio or indeed in the Weaver app, then follow Weaver at Weaver TV on Twitter. But from us here in the studio, it's going to be a goodbye.